Alright, what's up, guys? I'm out over by Rice Peak. I'm not on Rice Peak, but I went to Pepperjack Cave today, and I really couldn't take the dog a hole too far back up in there. So when I come back out of the cave, it's pretty muddy in there too, so it was a really cool experience, but it's just too much. I hope you guys can see the mountains. I don't know, they're kind of far off in the distance, so you might not be able to see them very well. It's more like a canyon outside, I guess. Anyway, we're in Esther 5. I'm going to try to get through Esther 5. Hopefully my phone can get through it. Now it came to... I wanted to say in my last chapter, I was calling Haman the king, and he's not the king. It's Azarus is the king, I believe. I think Haman is Azarus' right-hand man, like being like the general, I guess. I don't know, this is my first time through actually reading the book of Esther, so just bear with me. If you guys want to comment and correct me, I want to learn off of everybody. That's why I want to do these Bible studies, because I want to learn more, you know? So if I get something wrong or whatever, just correct me in the comments nicely. I don't have any problem being critiqued at all whatsoever. I want to be critiqued, because I want to get it right, you know? So Esther 5. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel, and stood in the inner court of the king's house over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. And it was so. When the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight, and the king held out to Esther the golden scepter. So, when I said she didn't think that they would accept her with the golden scepter, you can see here in Esther 5 that she was accepted. She was a lot more accepted with the golden scepter than I thought she would be. That was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter, then said to the king unto her, What wilt thou, Queen Esther, and what is thy request? So the king's asking Esther, what's your request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the half of the kingdom. And Esther answered, If it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Then the king said, Cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as... Verse 5, Then the king said, Cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. Verse 6, And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? So Haman and the king have went to this banquet that Esther has put together, and he's asking her what's her request. Verse 7, Then answered Esther and said, My petition and my request is... Sorry if you can hear my dog panting. She's right by the phone right now. Her request is, verse 8, If I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said. Let me go through that again, because my dog is distracting me. Verse 8, If I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said. Then went Haman forth that day joyful and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends, and Zeresh, his wife, and Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children. So when Haman saw Mordecai, he was still upset with him, obviously, because he's a freaking jerk. Can't get over himself, you know. And Mordecai's too proud to bow, which I don't blame him at all. And it says, okay, we're still recording. And all the things that wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared but myself. And tomorrow I am invited into her also with the king. 13, verse 13, yet all this availeth me nothing. I hope I said that right. As long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate. Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged therein. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet, and the king pleased, and the thing, excuse me, not the king, and the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made. So again, I'm sorry I called Haman king. I think he's the king's right-hand man, and it seems like Haman went and talked to his people and talked to his wife about Mordecai coming. I think Mordecai might be coming to this banquet that Esther's trying to help Mordecai and stuff. So I think Haman, he's wanting to build a gallows to kill Mordecai for good and hang him in the gallows. So we'll see what happens in the next chapter on the next adventure. So nobody really answered me last time about, maybe when I get back down, maybe someone will answer it about whether it was Mordecai's idea for her to go in to do this banquet, or whether it was her idea to sacrifice herself into this situation. So what do you guys think? Do you think it was her just sacrificing it out and just saying, I don't care if they kill me, I'm going to do it anyway? Or do you think Mordecai persuaded her to go ahead and do it? Or do you think that she would have done it without his persuasion? So I would kind of like to maybe chit-chat on that if you guys want to. If you don't, whatever. So let's see here. Let's see what else we got going on here. I kind of look around a little bit. It's me and Scout. Let's see. I kind of come up on top of this hill. I was in the shade. I don't have a hat on today. But it's kind of a good point lookout. I'm tired. I already went through the cave. I was going to go up there, but it would probably take me about another hour to get up there. It's already 4 o'clock. I don't have time to do it. I spent I'd say about an hour in that cave. Pepper Sauce Cave. This is really cool. I took my GoPro in there. Maybe I'll have some good footage. I don't know. It was really dark because it's a cave. My car's down on that road down in there. And I hiked up these small hills. Because I wanted to do the book of Esther today. I wanted to do chapter 5 today. While I was up here. I didn't think I'd go too far in that cave. Just because I have the dog with me for one. She was a trooper, man. She went down in there with me. I was surprised. She chickened out a couple times. I had to really pull her through a couple places. Because there's a spot where you gotta crawl in the dirt a little ways. She was scared of that. But I hit my head on the top of the ceiling of the rock and I started bleeding. I didn't know how bad I was bleeding until I got back to the car, so I had to back out of the cave. I'll probably come back to the cave another day where I can go back in there without the dog. I don't have the dog. I worry about her. But at least now I know there's a lot of people that go to that cave. There's over 23,000 people that go into that cave. So there were some guys that would come down in there. I was going to continue on with the guys, but one of them smelled like alcohol, and I just don't trust a whole group of guys with me by myself. They've been drinking, and I hit my head, and it was just too many bad scenarios all at once. And I stay safe out here. I really don't push it, so I hope you guys know that. God protects me as well. I really wanted to go farther in that cave with those guys, but I couldn't tell how much I was bleeding, and I'm not going to trust a drunk guy to tell me whether I'm okay or not. I couldn't tell. So once I got back to my car, though, it was just a little bump, a little slit, nothing big deal. No big, it looked worse than it was because it's on my forehead, so it bled a little bit. But let me see how many minutes I got here. 11 minutes. I'm gonna do a couple more minutes just looking. It's really pretty out here by Rice Peak. There's a campground out here. It's called Pepper Sauce Campground. I'm gonna come back out here to this cave someday by myself. I'll find somebody to hike with when I get back out here. This mountain's really pretty right here. Maybe one day I'll hike that. I don't really want to hike. Maybe I'll hike up this one day. I don't really want to really hike that because that's up and down and up and down. It could take me freaking days to get up that. It's a lot better when it's just a straight shot. When it goes up and down like that. But it's pretty out here, gorgeous. Glad I got the time to read the book of Esther and do one more pan around, and then it'll probably be done. I hope everybody's having a good day. And love and peace, like usual. So I hope I got some good footage with my GoPro in that cave. I don't know, because it was so dark. Who knows? Can you see my scratch? It's not as bad as I thought it was. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I hope I do the Book of Esther's justice. And if I don't, I don't. I don't know what to say. Scout! Don't go back down the hill. We're not ready to go back down the hill. Hey!